Follow Raj Baddhan on Twitter and Facebook. Simply search for Raj Baddhan.
Taken from the film that is releasing this weekend. I'm talking about Sana Mere. Finally coming out. So much promotions for this film. That's a title song playing here on Drivetime. Got some news about Pulkit Samrat and also about his wife on the way for you, Shweta Rohira, because he's been talking about the breakup of his marriage. Anyway, right now though, it's all about something that I know you want to get connected to. I know. There's been a lot of you fans out there that want to hear this man's voice, who is back here on Drivetime after, I don't know, it's been a couple of years since I spoke to him last. In my Star Driver this afternoon, let's welcome
Star Drive with Raj Baddhan on Drivetime.
My big guest this afternoon, that being Mohammed Iqbal Khan, who joins me live here on Drivetime. And Iqbal, how are you? You alright?
Hey Raj, thank you for having me. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you? Are you alright, keeping well?
Oh yes, absolutely. God's kind.
Very good. So, okay, now we last saw you in Pyaar Ho Jaane Do, but what has life been like since that show ended for you?
Well, it was a finite show.
Yep.
It had a fixed story. We from the very beginning knew that it would not stretch like other regular television shows. But I somehow it kind of it was supposed to run a month more, but it did not.
Mm-hmm.
But it was finite, and the story went really fast, and that's why I guess people liked and were glued. I guess that's the reason, because it was just cut to cut, and yeah.
Did it kind of live up to your expectations? Is that how you envisaged a show to kind of shape up as the way it did when it came on TV?
Pyaar Ko Ho Jaane Do for me has been the most satisfying in terms of creativity. Creatively, this has been amazing for me. Mm-hmm. I would call it my best show. I played the role of Rizwan, and it was the role of a Pakistani spy.
Yeah.
It was something very different, very non-TV kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So it was really different for me and for TV itself. So that way it was something different, and I'm glad I was a part of it.
Yeah. And if you were to say change anything about the show, say if it came back again, if you were to change anything about the show, what would that one thing be?
I would want a different channel.
Alrighty, okay. do you think that Sony didn't do justice to the show?
Yes, I think they did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, because I did see a couple of tweets from you about the TRP system and the way the show was managed as well. Tell us a bit about your take on TRPs and ratings in India.
I have never understood this TRP system. I have never understood it. There is no doubt that good shows always run, and but I don't know, somehow these days they keep changing regions of TRP, Raj.
Yeah.
And I think that this time they've really put in places which are really regressive in the country. Mm-hmm. So the urban viewer has no take, has no input in terms of TRP, which is not all that cool, I feel. It is my personal opinion. Well, at the end of the day, everything is business, and the channel depends on the broadcaster, depends on the advertiser. That's where the money comes in. So that's why the TRP is very important. Yeah. But I think it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, because the boxes where these ratings are kept, as in the boxes in people's houses, obviously we don't know where they are, but they are kept in certain places, and you're saying that they're probably being kept in areas where these kind of shows are not accepted as much as the urban audiences.
Yes. There have been shows like Bade Achhe Lagte Hain. Those kind of shows, if you actually put them on air right now on Sony, again they might not work, because it was more very urban. It was very urban.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And right now I think it's very regressive, very regressive.
Okay, so away from that, obviously you had an amazing time on the show, and can I just say, I did announce this interview last Thursday when I messaged you. I think it was last Thursday I messaged you, and since then, my Twitter, and I'm sure your Twitter has gone crazy and ballistic as well, because there's a lot of Chane Wale. There's so many proposals coming in. I know Valentine's is this weekend, but there's so many ladies that want to propose to you and saying how much they fancy you and how much they want to be with you. What's your take on the fan base that you've garnered with Pyaar Ko Jaane Do?
I have been really lucky, Raj, in terms of the work that I've always got. So I wouldn't credit myself for anything. I just do my job, which is acting. Beyond that, I don't do much, So I think it's I thank God for giving me such beautiful fans. They are amazing. They give you that extra push, and it is always. I'm really humbled. It is an amazing feeling to have so many people, liking your work.
Yeah.
And that for an actor, it is one of the most important things.
Yeah. I mean, on social networking sites, especially now, these days, fans can easily connect to their favourite stars. And I think that's why there's so many fans of yours that are constantly tweeting to kind of find out more about you, where you are and how life is treating you kind of thing. How often do you check your Twitter and social networking sites just to see what people are saying?
I'm not first of all, I would call myself technologically handicapped. I'm not, but I make an extra effort, I make an extra effort. I check my Twitter at least 2-3 times a day.
Wow, okay. That's still a lot, yeah?
Yeah, that's a lot, yeah. And, but there are people who are on Twitter and on Facebook almost 26 hours out of 24. but I think, for me, the kind of person that I am, I'm a little antisocial and blah, blah, blah. With that kind of a baggage with me, I think 2-3 times a day is fine. I do. And it's only, trust me, Raj, it's only because of the love that I get from people. And I think it becomes a certain kind of a responsibility for me to get back to them and answer them.
Yeah.
I wish I could actually physically go and meet them.
Yeah.
That's why every time I go to a different city for a tour or something, or sometimes we go outside the country, I always tweet about let's just meet up. Let's just meet up for a group hug or something.
Yeah.
Like last time, I had gone to Houston for a festival that I go to, Indian Film Festival of Houston, and I tweeted, and we actually met. There were people who had come down from Dallas and other places to Houston, and we had like a little group. It was awesome. It was amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of fans, even international fans. I've got, a few people here who have mentioned, including Aisha, who's from London. She said as well, she's got lots of unconditional love for you. What about plans of coming to London anytime soon? Any plans of coming to, spend some time with your fans here?
Yeah, I have a cousin who lives in London, and she's been after my life. That I have to visit her. If I go anywhere else apart from London this year, I think she will kill me. So I guess it has to be London this time, inshallah.
Good. And what about next for you in terms of work? I mean, when are we going to see you back on the screen? I know it's only been a few weeks since Pyaar Ko Jaane Do finished. I know you probably want a bit of a break, but there's a lot of fans that are missing you. So when are we going to see you back?
Actually, Raj, I've been working non-stop since the last 6 months, and TV is a little taxing, You work for around, around 10, 11 hours, 11, 12 hours every day. It is a commute. Commute is usually, it takes an hour coming, an hour going. So basically, you're like outside the house for almost 13, 14, 15 hours, By the time I get back, usually, I used to get back, my daughter used to be asleep. So I have missed all that,
Yeah.
So I want to make up to all that. I want to take a little bit of a gap, but soon, inshallah. Even if I start something in 2 months, that will not immediately go on air, because usually the new shows that you take up takes a little bit of a time to go on air, because the couple of first episodes have to be shot extensively and with all mounting and everything. So that takes time. So I guess I think another at least 3 months, unless I decide to do a cameo or something here and there. But otherwise, a new show would take at least another 3 months to go.
And of course, you played so many different kind of characters. But what kind of character would you like to play next? Is there? I mean, I'm sure you've been offered many different roles since Pyaar Ko Jaane Do finished. But is there anything in mind that you've got next that you want to play?
You know, the only problem that in fact, the other day I messaged Ekta about this thing, that this show has kind of spoiled me a little in terms of the content. I have to convince myself now that every show is not going to be like this on TV, you know. So, yeah. And it's serious. I'm serious. Seriously.
Yeah.
I just said no to a couple of shows in the last 2 weeks, purely on the basis of because I'm just looking for something like this or a little better, you know. Now, but at the same time, I should not forget that at the end of the day, it is demand and supply, and you have to do something that people watch more.
Yeah. And it's all about the benchmark. It's all about this benchmark now that Pyaar Ko Jaane Do has kind of created for you. So you want to kind of beat that and better it. Yeah. Okay.
You know. In short, I'll tell you, you can work for 5-6 years, do whatever you have to, whatever stuff is running on TV or films, whatever, and then suddenly you do something like Pyaar Ko Jaane Do, which will last for 6 months and fuel you off for the next 5-6 years.
Yeah.
so it's like that.
Yeah, it is true. Okay, let's go to some of these questions. There's loads of questions here. So let's keep all the answers short, right? Because we're going to try to get in as many as we can. First of all, M.I. Ki Divani is asking कि आपके इतने सारे shows में सबसे challenging role आपको कौन सा लगा?
सबसे challenging role यही रहा ईशान और रिजवान का, क्योंकि दो कैरेक्टर प्ले करना मुश्किल नहीं होता है, लेकिन रिजवान का जो कैरेक्टर स्पेशली था, वो उसके अंदर का जो मॉयल था, वो बाहर लाने में बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग था.
Okay. Pragati is asking, if given a chance, which role would you prefer playing, Bajirao or Devdas?
I haven't watched Bajirao yet, so I can't comment on that. Devdas, definitely not.
Definitely not. Okay. Why not?
Yeah, I think the best Devdas was Dilip Kumar's.
Yeah.
It was shot. If you actually see it again, it was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
And Dilip Saab had done a fantastic job. That cannot be, no matter how beautifully you shoot, it will never be as close to how Dilip Saab's film was shot. And at the end of the day, story is the main thing. No matter how much camera ki kabaddi you do, story is something that connects with the audience.
Okay. There's a question also from Bol Nadilse saying, what's your most used app? Do you have many apps on your phone? And if so, which is your most used?
I am technologically handicapped, as I said, but I try my level best here and there. I think I also screwed up yesterday. I bought a new phone and I was installing Twitter. And I don't know, all my phone list got some different Twitter thing in my number or somewhere. I'm a big no for all the apps. I have a Azan app that keeps me updated.
Yeah.
In terms of 5 times prayer. You sometimes forget, so suddenly this Azan pops up and you have to realize that you have to pray.
Oh, that's good.
That's something that I really like.
Yeah. But talking about Twitter, I hope you didn't post your number by accident, seeing as you were playing around with your Twitter on your phone yesterday.
I don't know. I'll have to check. I don't know what I did.
Just in case. I know. I'll check. You know what? I think
with my people.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to another question here. There's one here that I was reading here. This is a good one. From Chitali, who's asking, what's the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning?
I pray.
Pray. And another question here. Honey Khan is asking how Amara reacts when your fan comes to you and asks for pictures and autographs.
I don't think she's actually got this whole thing that I'm an actor and people come and take pictures she thinks that why are these people coming and taking pictures with my father? But now she's got used to it. She feels that I think that's what people do when they see my father. She's okay with it now. I don't think she's actually got the hang of it.
Yeah. Also, Im is asking, has any of your characters you've played taught you anything like that you never knew before? I mean, is there anything that's kind of changed you in a way?
Oh, no. After pack up, I sit in my car, I switch off.
No?
I don't take anything back home.
Okay. But what about when you were learning for any particular role? Is there anything that you had to do, anything that you had to learn in particular for any roles that you played in the past?
You know, on TV, there's actually not anything that, like, something like this has never happened, where you actually have to go through extensive stuff so that stuff looks like that. It's just that, a TV is something that you shoot every day for months. Mm-hmm. Even if it's a finite series like ours, we actually shot for 6 months. So you can't actually be in that zone for 6 months. When you do a film, you can understand. Mm-hmm. You shoot for 50 days, 45 days, and it's over. I can't get into a zone for if I'm doing a daily soap, and if it runs for a year, I can't be in that zone and be kicked out from my house.
Yeah. Question also, what's your perfect Sunday afternoon like? I mean, what do you do on a Sunday afternoon if you're not working?
When I'm working, every day is a Monday. There's no Sunday. We create our own Sundays. Whenever you need an off, you take an off. Mm-hmm. That you make a Monday also a Sunday. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, there are no Sundays. But since my daughter has a Saturday, Sunday off, so we usually take her out. It's basically we do. All the planning happens to our daughter, according to our daughter.
Best way. McCormill is asking, Iqbal is complete without what? So that's a kind of like a filling gap you need to fill in, all right? So Iqbal is incomplete without what would you say? Family. And Kulsum Mehreen is asking, my first question is, which song do you prefer when you're driving?
Which song? Well, right now, there's a repeat thing on Frozen.
Which one? As in the Disney film Frozen?
Frozen, yeah.
As in Let It Go?
Let It Go. Not that I like it, but I have no choice because my daughter likes it.
Oh, so sweet. There's a question also to do with the autobiography and biopics. Now, if you were to choose a title for your own autobiography or a biopic, what would you name it?
Ooh. Well, I don't have that kind of a body of work behind me that I actually have not thought about it at all. I think I'm a small fish to even think about on those terms yet.
By the way,
I have to work very hard to get.
By the way, there's a question that even I wanted to ask you as well, because you have got an amazing voice. Now we're on radio at the moment, and I think you have got such a awesome, a very husky and a very kind of dynamic voice to go on the radio. Now there's a question from Soha Khan who's asking, considering you have an awesome voice, would you ever think about picking up singing or something to do with your voice?
Well, you know what, Raj? I think you also know it since you do radio. Is that voice and singing are two different things? You may have a voice which has a bass or whatever, but to sing, you need a singer's voice, you know. So I'm definitely not a singer. I used to sing in school, but no, I was in the Western choir. We used to sing all the jingles, but otherwise, no, I don't have a singer's voice.
Oh, sweet. Do you know what, Iqbal Khan, I'd love to speak to you even more because I know there's so many questions that are coming. In the last couple of days, I must have received about 400 questions, and it's so difficult to choose which ones to kind of put to you. But it has been a pleasure talking to you. And can I just say, there's one more thing that I want to put in there, and that's because on Wednesday, it is your birthday, isn't it?
Yes. The 10th of February.
And this track is for you. Tum Jiyo Hazaro Saal. That's from all your fans, everyone that knows you, that have been saying, please wish you a happy birthday for Wednesday, the 10th of February. What's your plans, by the way, for Wednesday? What's your plans? What are you going to be doing on Wednesday?
Wait, I think I'll just quickly take my family out somewhere, a little close by in the hills, and stay away from the crowd and maybe do a little jig there, that's it.
Oh, brilliant. Do you know what? It's been a pleasure talking to you again. Please keep in touch and let us know what your next project's going to be as well. Have you got a final message for all your fans out there?
My message would always be, keep me in your prayers, pray for me, and I hope I'm always there to entertain everybody. And every time you guys see me on screen, you should have a smile on your face, inshallah.
Oh.
Keeping your prayers, that's all.
Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best with everything. All right, and we'll be reconnecting with you again when you announce a new project. All right.
Inshallah. Thank you so much.
And happy
Thanks so
birthday
much.
for Wednesday as well. There you go. That was Mohammed Iqbal Khan.